Before the sun even touched the horizon, while the world was still silent, the Prophet Muhammad would wake up. His first instinct was not to check anything or delay. His first words were of gratitude. He thanked Allah for giving him another day, for life itself. No hesitation, no distractions, just a deep acknowledgement that every single morning was a blessing. He would then perform ablution, washing his face, hands and feet with care, not rushing through it, but taking the time to prepare himself physically and spiritually for what was coming next. Tahajjud. This was a special prayer, one that wasn't required, yet he never abandoned it. The quiet of the night made it the perfect time to pour his heart out in prayer, to reflect, to seek guidance. There was no audience, no one watching, just him and his Creator. And he savored these moments of solitude. As the sky started to shift from black to deep blue, signaling the approach of Fajr, he would make his way to the mosque. If you ever watched him walk, you'd see a man with purpose. He wasn't sluggish, nor was he rushing. His steps were steady and strong, always aware, always present. Leading the Fajr prayer, he stood before his people, reinforcing the idea that no matter what the day held, it had to start with worship. He once said that those who pray Fajr are under Allah's protection for the rest of the day, and that wasn't just a statement. It was a truth he lived by. After Fajr, he didn't just leave. He would stay in the mosque, sitting with his companions, discussing, reflecting, sometimes just remaining silent, soaking in the peaceful atmosphere of the early morning. This was his moment of stillness, a chance to reset before stepping into the responsibilities that awaited him. When the sun had fully risen, he would go back home. If food was available, he would eat. If it wasn't, he wouldn't complain. Instead, he would turn it into an opportunity to fast. His relationship with food wasn't one of indulgence. He ate to sustain himself, never excessively, never wastefully. Even the way he ate was deliberate. Small bites, slow chewing, never letting a meal become a distraction from his greater purpose. Mid-morning, he would pray duha, a voluntary prayer that carried immense rewards. It was a prayer of gratitude, of asking for guidance in whatever lay ahead. After that, his day truly began. And what a day it was. There was no such thing as idleness in his life. If he wasn't in the mosque teaching, he was meeting with his companions, offering advice, solving disputes, checking on the sick, helping the poor. He was a leader, but he didn't lock himself away in some chamber, distant from the people. He was among them, listening, understanding, guiding. When someone spoke to him, he gave them his full attention. No distractions, no half-hearted nods, just genuine presence. By midday, the heat would be at its peak, and it was time for the Zuhr prayer. Again, he would lead. Again, he would pause his day to reconnect with his Creator. After Zuhr, he would take a short nap, a habit that wasn't about laziness, but about sustainability. He understood the human body and respected its needs. This short rest gave him the energy to carry on with the remainder of the day. The afternoon was just as active as the morning. He continued his duties, whether it was settling disputes, giving counsel, or simply being there for his people. He wasn't just a spiritual leader, he was a father, a husband, a friend. He checked in on his family, played with children, showed kindness to everyone, from the wealthiest companion to the poorest beggar. Then came the Asr prayer, another reminder that the day was moving forward and that there was still time to do good, to correct mistakes, to make the most of the hours that remained. After Asr, he would often visit his family, ensuring that each of his wives felt valued and loved. He was affectionate, he joked. He helped with household chores, never considering himself too important to sweep the floor or mend his own clothes. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, it was time for Maghrib. The day was winding down, but the worship didn't stop. After the prayer, he would share a meal with his family and companions. These meals were simple but meaningful. He ate in moderation, reminding others that the best way to live was not to overfill the stomach, but to divide it. A third for food, a third for water, a third for air. The time between Maghrib and Isha was a mix of personal time and community engagement. Some nights, he spent it teaching, Other nights, he sat with his loved ones, speaking words of wisdom, but also simply enjoying their company. Then came Isha, the final prayer of the day. The night was settling in, and with it came a moment to reflect. After leading the prayer, he would return home, ensuring he spent time with his family before sleeping. Before closing his eyes, he had one more routine, a moment of dhikr, remembrance. He recited supplications, thanking Allah for the day, seeking protection for the night. And then he would sleep, not in excess, not seeking luxury, but simply resting enough to rise again before dawn, ready to do it all over again. The Prophet's routine wasn't about personal gain, nor was it about worldly success in the way people often define it. Yet, through his discipline, his balance, his unwavering commitment to both his Creator and his people, he embodied the highest form of success. His life was a perfect model of productivity, not just in terms of getting things done, but in terms of doing what truly matters.